Today we'll be unboxing the Crown Prince of Eternia and his fearless friend on Rip It Open with Newman. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Newman, and today we'll be unboxing Prince Adam and Cringer from the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection line from Mattel Toys. Created in 1982 and first appearing in DC Comics, Prince Adam is the true identity of He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Cringer, his fearless friend, is a talking tiger and a boyhood companion of Prince Adam. When transformed into He-Man, Prince Adam uses his magic sword to transform Cringer into the mighty Battle Cat. Excited to get back to the land of Filmation Eternia with the Cartoon Collections line. It's been one of the more consistent lines out there going today from Masters of the Universe, so I'm really excited to go ahead and get this one cracked open. I got mine via a pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store. I love that store. You can go ahead and get lots of pre-orders, pile your loot up, and then go ahead and ship everything at once at the same time, such as that item, which I'll be having a review for later on. Alright, and Big Bad Toy Store. Give them your business. They're very collector friendly. And here we go. Now before we go ahead and tear up this packaging, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the lovely box art that is on here. So first we're going to go ahead and take a look at the front. Here we go. It's a very nice image of Prince Adam and Cringer relaxing in some sort of Eternia Falls. On the right side, looks like we've got a cameo from Imp. Maybe we'll get him with the new Hordak figure that's supposed to be coming out. And on the back, there's a great image of Prince Adam transforming in front of Castle Grayskull that actually made me slightly emotional. And on the other side, we've got a little creature from the Whispering Woods. Now, I'm mostly an inbox collector, so ripping up this beautiful packaging, this kind of tears me up, because out of all the Masters of the Universe packaging, I kind of like this one the best, especially that image on the back. This hurts, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. But let's move on. We got the figures out of package, but still in their plastic. Gonna get rid of that. And now we're gonna go ahead and take a closer look at this lovely 2-pack. I'm very excited. Are you excited? You better be excited. Now we've got quite a bit of twisty ties holding these figures down, so I'm gonna break out my X-Acto knife, get these things cut off. Hopefully I don't cut the figure. Get this out of here. And we're gonna go ahead and start a review with Adam. Alright, now look at this figure. This is looking good. Colors are nice and clean, they pop, slightly pastel-y. I find that the Origins figures are a little more neon, and the Cartoon Collection figures are slightly more pastel. It's not a knock, just an observation. But again, pastel really does work very well with Prince Adam. He's known for his, let's say, festive gear. Before we go into detail, first we're going to go ahead and go over the articulation. So let's go ahead and start off with the head. It spins all the way around, such as so. Goes up, down, and there's a nice angle to it as well. Check the arms, they go up to about that far, which is general for the Cartoon Collection. Those kind of shoulder cuffs, I guess they don't really limit it. The arms are a single joint at the elbow, they go out to there. And it looks like here we have a different type of articulation for the hand, so that he can do the sword aloft pose. I feel as though that was a missed opportunity with the original He-Man. It looks like they fixed it with the Prince Adam. I wonder if that's going to work well with the He-Man figure. We'll have to try that out. Now, when you do the waist twist, it looks like his vest will kind of pop open. Yeah, look at that. So it doesn't look like this is a super tight latch for the vest, so I'm probably not going to be using the waist twist too much. Legs can do the splits. Knees are also a single joint. Everything is very tight, no loosey-goosey items. I had some issues with the Cartoon Collection man-at-arms being loose, but this is very good. There's an ankle rocker, which is excellent. Goes all the way around. There's a nice pivot to it. It looks fantastic. We're going to be able to get him in some nice dynamic and stable poses. Alright, so that's the figure. Looks good. Nice and clean. I like the texture of the vest. It's a bit of a matte. Enough stargazing at this figure. Out of here. Let's go ahead and get to Cringer. Let's get this big boy out of here and look at this figure. Now, I do believe we have the crown jewel of this 2-pack. This is excellent. Look at all of this articulation. It looks like the abdomen is hollow. That's fine. I mean, most Cringers in this, the scale, they're hollow. Head goes all the way around. There's articulation at both the head and the base of the neck, which is very nice. You can get a lot of different head movements out of that. That's fantastic. There is a kitty ab crunch. So that's very good. Legs go out to about that far, but there's articulation. I don't know cat anatomy, so bear with me. But I guess there's articulation at his elbows and knees, as well as at his ankles and wrists. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're called for a cat. Either way, there's a whole bunch of articulation for this figure. There's articulation in the tail, not so much that you can bend it, but it goes all the way around. You can lift it up, you can lift it down, depending on his emotional state. And Cringer has a lot of emotional states, usually terror. There's some nice sculpting of his kitty beans on the bottom of his feet, so that's pretty cool. Looks good. This is awesome. Accessory time. Let's start off with the extra Prince Adam head. It's that classic laughing head that everyone's going to use for their thumbnail, I'm sure. I don't know if I will. I probably will. I'm a sheep. What can I say? But it's great. It's fantastic. I really do like it. Next one, we've got the extra head for Cringer. Now, this is unfortunate. It looks like there's a little bit of paint coming off on his kitty beard. That's a shame. But there is articulation in the mouth, so you can get that nice scared Cringer pose when Adam is transforming him into Battle Cat. That paint scuff is really unfortunate. Otherwise, it's a very excellent separate head. I may try and find some paint so that I can go ahead and cover that up, because I really like this figure, and I just want it to be as perfect as I can possibly get it. But look at that. That's cool. And lastly, we've got the Sword of Power. It's the exact same sword that came with the He-Man figure. I know, I checked. And yeah, it's still just as lovely as that sword was. So back to Prince Adam. We're going to go ahead and start doing some posing, start swapping some heads, start using some accessories. Let's go ahead and start off with the Sword of Power, see how it looks in that hand of his. So there we go, we've got his arm in the sword aloft position. Let's get the sword in there, and this is a very tight grip in this hand. It's much tighter than the gripping hand for the He-Man action figure. So that's good. That's excellent. And he stands very well, so he's very well balanced. No surprise there. All these origin figures are pretty well balanced. And we can get his head looking up at the sword. And look at that. It's like it jumped right off of the 20-inch, 500-pound TV. Let's see how the figure looks getting the sword from the back of his shirt. All right, and yeah, that looks pretty decent. I don't think it looks as good as He-Man getting the sword from the back of his sheath, but it still looks pretty good. I do believe the classics Filmation Adam had a little slot that you could put the sword on the back. This figure does not. The back is completely smooth, and I'm actually okay with that. I think it actually looks a little bit better when it's closer to the Filmation, where, that sword is just magically hiding in the back of Prince Adam, not just on full display. But here we've got an action position, and it looks good. It looks fantastic. Even with the different type of gripping hand, I think it still works if you're doing an action pose with Adam. It almost looks like he's fencing with the sword. I don't know. I've never fenced. I don't know the positions. Sorry if I'm offending fencers. So I'm going to get his legs back into a standing position because we're going to get this guy stood up, and we're going to go ahead and compare him to a couple of other figures. Boom! There we go. So here we got He-Man and Prince Adam, and look at that. Two different people that look nothing alike. I would never guess that these guys are the same person at all. I do like that there's a slightly different skin tone to the He-Man and Adam. Adam is a bit paler while He-Man has a more subdued He-Man tan. So that's good. There is a little bit of a color difference. That might interfere with the head and limb swapping just a little bit, but I'm glad that they made that color difference between the two figures. In fact, the swapping of heads and hands is probably why they made the color difference a little subtle and not so blatant. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like when we do swap out these hands. And here we've got He-Man with the sword aloft using Adam's hand. And there we go, look at that. It looks pretty good. The color difference is not too noticeable. You can notice it if you're in the right lighting, but if your lighting is more subdued, you're probably not going to notice that much. You can see, if I bring it up close, there is a definite color difference. It almost looks like he's a bodybuilder using that fake tan for the competitions, and he just hasn't gotten to his hands yet. Moving on, we're actually going to go ahead and compare Prince Adam to the Origins Prince Adam figure. The original one that came out a couple years ago that came with the Sky Sled. So we're going to place you there, and There we go, social media matic, ladies and gentlemen. So I still have this in box. I don't really plan on opening this up. And now you can see the definite color difference in the vest. The vest for the Origins Prince Adam is a lot darker. The belt buckle is a little smaller. The color of the, I guess the leggings and the boots, they're relatively the same. Head sculpt is obviously very different. You know, I always liked this Origins figure, but, you know, looking at the Filmation figure, it's definitely my favorite out of the two. But Prince Adam, we're going to get you out of here, and we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at Cringer. Just go over the articulation just a little bit more, see if we can get him into some dynamic poses. And just like I said, this is just an awesome figure. I really like playing with it. It's really nice. I can't believe that this is considered an Origins figure because the amount of articulation on this feels like it would be better placed in the Masterverse line. It's really that good. And while posing this figure, I'm just sort of scratching my head and just trying to remember what I paid for this 2-pack. And unbelievably, I only paid $30 for this. I can't believe that I got this 2-pack with this figure, with this amount of articulation, just for 30 bucks. That's kind of absurd to me. The head swapping is very easy. It's very good. There's a nice satisfying pop when you take it off and put it back on. We've got the scared Cringer face. He-Man's about to do the business on him. Gotta turn him into Battle Cat, and look at that. And you know, this just makes me desperately want a Battle Cat cartoon collection figure. I would definitely buy it. Make it happen, Mattel. I'm trying to give you my money. But look at this. This just looks great. Again, swapping out the heads is very easy, very nice and fun, not anxiety producing at all. yeah, sometimes when I swap out heads with certain figures, I'm not really talking about the cartoon collection line or Origins, but swapping out the heads is just an ordeal. Like the peg is too small, or the ball joint is too small, or I'm always worried I'm going to damage the head in some way. But, you know, it's fun with these figures. And here we've got him standing up in a, I guess, you know, normal position. Again, the figure is very well balanced. It's hard not to when you got a figure that has 4 legs. You really got to screw up the posing and the weight and have some super loose joints for a 4-legged creature not to be able to stand upright. So now that we've got Cringer here, we're going to do a little comparison. Let's move Cringer out of the way, and by the power of Grayskull, all right, there we go. So I removed the helmet from Battle Cat just to get a better view of the two figures. And this is just night and day. The Cringer figure is certainly the upgraded model. I'm a little curious to see what a cartoon collection Battle Cat might look like. So let's go ahead and add this on there. And look at that! It looks just like the cartoon. I love the fact that he's got his light green beard underneath the helmet. That looks great. Mattel, what are you doing to me? Make the figure already. Stop messing around and get on it already. Now, we're actually going to jump back to Prince Adam, so I got to get Battle Cat out of here. Just go. So, back to Prince Adam. I completely forgot to go over the extra head for him, the laughing head. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing popped off, and we're going to go ahead and put the laughing head on. And look at that. Ah, yes. I'd put a clip of the clip that I know everyone wants to see, but I don't want to get a copyright strike. But, you know what's going on. Let's go ahead and get these figures side by side and just look at this. This is just so great and fantastic and so nostalgic for me. Oddly enough, I think of Prince Adam first before He-Man when I think of Masters of the Universe. I know that's weird. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually swap this head out and put it on the He-Man figure. Gonna do the old swapperoo and get that on there. And does it work? Does it work? I think it works for the most part. Again, you can see that there is a skin tone difference. He kind of looks like one of those bodybuilders at those competitions with the fake tan, but their face is just a completely different shade. It's just funnier the more I look at it. But all in all, I think these figures are just fantastic. They are my favorite cartoon collection figures so far. And again, full disclosure, I am a Filmation guy first, before the mini comics, before the figures. And this is quintessential Filmation for me. And I just love it. It's fantastic. I love it so much. It's one of the first toys that I've opened since childhood that gave me just an emotional reaction. And it really makes me look forward to all of the other cartoon collection figures coming out later on. Okay, final thoughts. As if you couldn't tell by this review, I am simply in love with these figures. I think they are great. Articulation is very good across the board. Nothing loosey-goosey. Everything's nice and tight. Everything moves the way it needs to move. The painting, for the most part, is very good. That paint slop on Cringer's beard for the extra head, that's a little disappointing. I'll probably just go ahead and see if I can fix that myself. But the fact that these figures are so good that it can make me overlook that is sort of a testament to these figures. In addition, the price point for these figures is pretty darn good. $30 for a 2-pack with a Cringer with all that articulation. I realize the accessories are, I guess, kind of skimpy. You only get 2 heads and the power sword, which you technically already have. I may have just become a little bit jaded over the price points for some of these figures, that the $30 is just a breath of fresh air, that it's something reasonably affordable for a very good product. Also, I'm not exactly in love with how they did the vest on Prince Adam. I think the latch there is a little too loose and it disconnects once you move the waist. I honestly would have preferred if it was just one complete piece that you couldn't unlatch whatsoever. That way you could move the waist a little bit more freely. But I don't think that's really going to affect my enjoyment of the figure. With you it might, so mileage may vary. All in all, I really do recommend these figures. You should definitely go out and get it. They're still available from multiple sources. Again, I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. And I'm gonna be honest, after I did this review, I went ahead and bought another one because I was just so in love with that packaging. It broke my heart to rip it open and throw it away. So I got another one just so I could have one in package. Because that artwork on the back, I am not joking when I got a severe emotional response from that. Nostalgia is a pretty prevalent thing right now because with social media, streaming, you can watch anything from your childhood instantaneously. There's no room for it to just sort of kind of grow in your mind anymore. So getting emotional over something nostalgic is very rare for me. It happened with X-Men '97 and it happened with this figure. With looking at that box art, it's just, man, it's just, wow. Again, this is all personal stuff, so if you're not my age with my background, this may be nothing to you. This may be just another hunk of plastic inside of more plastic. And that's okay. We can all have different experiences and different reactions to things. Variety is the spice of life. And Mattel, I think you cooked up something really good here. Good job. You get a gold star. Alright folks, so that's going to pretty much wrap everything up. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Ring the bell for notifications, and I will check you later.